This is why you're not making the money you want. As a Nigerian youth, the odds are against you being a Nigerian. At the same time, nobody really cares about these excuses. It's up to you to make do of it. It's up to you to leverage and just make what you can out of it. So here are your possible solutions. 1, Jackpot. I'm not even gonna lie. If you think that's greener pastures for you, please go ahead. Option 2 would be to earn in dollars, earn in foreign currency. I know this might not sound so patriotic. However, you need to be able to ground yourself first before you can do anything for those around you. At least that's what I believe, and that's what I've done for myself, for my family, and people around me, my generation. This is how we have been working, and it's working for us so far. So I think I'm entitled to that share of opinion. Number 2 reason why you're not making the money you should be making as a Nigerian youth: social media pressure. Oh my goodness, I cannot stress this enough. So you know the crazy thing about us when we have an idea, and when I say us, I mean young people, right? Youth between 18 and 35. The problem with us is when we have an idea, we tend to look for people who are working in that line already, or people who are doing similar things to what we supposed to want to do. And when we don't find anybody working in that line, we tend to kill our dreams. It's just crazy. How about you be that person who is actually going to set the pace for other people to work in? It's really up to you. You can either use social media to inspire you or use it to your detriment. Or basically, what I'd advise you to do, if you're someone who loves social media so much, is look for people who have similar patterns. And now, do not restrict yourself to whatever industry you're in or whatever it is that you want to do exactly. Look for someone else that is doing something great in a parallel industry. I mean, you could be an artist using the template of a doctor or a content creator or whatever. Use their template. You do not necessarily have to do what they do step by step. I remember some time ago, I find myself wanting to create content like certain type of people, and I was in a box. It was so hard for me until I understood my flow and understood how it works on me. Only then was I able to understand my voice. Basically, the solution to the social media pressure is to use social media as a tool to inspire you and not to kill your dreams. So the next time you see someone doing something good in a field that you want to go into or something similar that you want to do, instead of drowning yourself in that, please remember that someday you're also going to be someone that people are going to be looking up to. So, number 3 reason you don't have a valuable skill set. I'm sorry, this might come off harsh, but yes, you really do not have a valuable skill set. And when I say valuable skill set, I know some people might feel offended, but you could have a skill and it's not valuable. Or you could have a valuable skill, but the environment that you currently are in doesn't make that skill valuable. So a good example of that would be someone who has a programming skill. Say you're good at writing codes, or you are interested in codes, and you find yourself doing manual labor. That's obviously not the right environment for you. However, what you can do is leverage, put yourself in a position where your skills would be valued. As young Nigerians, one of the things that the system has constantly fought against was being innovative. Remember, as a kid, they used to ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? Nobody really asked us, what problem do you want to solve when you grow up? Nobody asked us, what do you want to change about the world when you grow up? It's what do you want to be? So that has put us in a box. I mean, if you really thought about it as what problem do you want to solve, then as someone who is, like the instance I gave, as someone who is a programmer or who has a programming skill, finding himself in, say, a theatrical environment, you could think of, oh, okay, how can I create solutions that would serve these people? How can I create applications? How can I create tools that will serve these people in the outside world? And constantly not making excuses that, oh, okay, I'm not in the area where I should be, so I can't function. Also, Not having a valuable skill could actually be you not having any skill at all. An in-demand skills, to be particular. There's this thing people say about 9 to 5s about, and especially with the Gen Zs, we believe 9 to 5s are our biggest enemies, but no. I'm here to tell you 9 to 5 is not your biggest enemy. As a matter of fact, 9 to 5 might be your stepping stone into where you're supposed to be. So many times people use their 9 to 5s to finance their ideas, save up over a while, and you're able to do something out of it, right? So learn a skill if you have to, work for the period of time, get innovative with that skill. The 3 processes that I actually advise anyone to follow if you do not have a valuable skill: 1, learn a high income skill and be good at it. 2, build a portfolio to show people what you are capable of. 3, show up and show out. The number 4 reasons why you're not making the money you want to make as a Nigerian youth is because you do not have a personal brand. The people who can afford to pay you what you want do not know that you exist. Let this sink in. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not enough to be good at something. It's not enough to have knowledge. It's not enough to have skills. It's not enough to have talent. You need to be where you are valued. You need to be where people actually need you. And if people do not need you, you create the need around yourself. And how do you do that? The fastest way to do that, what I'd advise anybody to do, and what I have done for myself personally, is by building a personal brand. Now, it's not enough to say Charles knows how to build websites. Charles knows how to write applications. Oh yes, Charles can do these things. These are good skills. Yes, if Charles applied to a company, he will get hired. But how does Charles intend to make millions of naira from the comfort of his home, being able to have time for his family and all of that? Oh, Charles has to build a personal brand. Oh yes, good idea. And guess what? Charles has built a personal brand. CharlesTitanium.com. Go ahead. That's what a personal brand is. And when you build a personal brand, you can easily sell anything, right? For those who have known me personally, or who know me from social media years back, you'd know Charles is first a dancer, a rapper, before any other thing. And guess what? The amazing thing is, I could decide today that I want to go back to doing music. I've had a solid fan base that has followed me. Would you call it fan base? But you could either call it fan base, or in the business term, you could say leads. I mean, there are certain people who trust my brand, who trust anything that I bring to the table. So I can easily diversify. If I start a business tomorrow, I don't have to start looking around for customers to advertise it to. That's what building a personal brand does for you. When you build a personal brand that is putting your name to something, you treat what you do as a business. You make things official. Mr. Femi, who is a skilled data analyst, is not enough. Create a personal brand. Call it something like Femi the Analyst. At Femi the Analyst. Oh yeah, that's catchy. Or one of my partners who calls himself Bob the Legal Guy. Is that not cool? We don't want to hire a lawyer like that. So yeah, that's what having a personal brand does for you. And then when you have a personal brand, you can then walk up to those who can pay you what you want to get. And what's the worst case scenario? You get a no, but at least you tried, and it all adds up in the end. Number 5 reason is you don't leverage enough. Okay, hold on. I know this is about to get tricky. Leverage is how you lift a car with one hand. How's that even possible? How do you lift a car with one hand? All you have to do is get a jack, pump it with one hand, and then you lifted a car with one hand. That's what you call leverage. How do you run faster than the world's fastest man? Put him on a bicycle, I'll jump on a jet. I get to my destination before him. That is leverage. 3 ways that you can build leverage are capital, coding and automation, or collaboration, which is probably the most underrated way. But I'll talk about that in a bit. Capital is when you use money to make up for a skill or an inability that you have. So say you want to build an application and you don't know anything about writing codes, but you can afford to pay you can afford to pay a developer. So what you just do is you hire a programmer who builds the application for you, probably teaches you the standard operating procedures or whatever you need to know about it, and then you have built an application, right? You would call yourself a founder with whatever it is you want to call yourself. Now that's an example of leveraging capital. Number two would be code and automation. Now, as much as you are training to become a data analyst, remember that there is something called excelformulabots.com. This is an AI powered platform that actually does your data analysis for you. Now, I'm not here to scare you. AI is not going to take your job. I'm probably going to discuss that in another video entirely. But the AIs and the machines, they are just here to enhance what you know how to do already. Make it faster, cost efficient, make it more efficient basically. So instead of getting worried and fighting against technology, machines and automations, just understand how to operate them. Nobody is saying go and start learning how to code, because coding is so 2005, the .com era. Right now it's machine learning, it's deep learning, it's AIs and automation. So all you need to know how to do is to speak good English, know how to instruct these computers, and you're good to go. So you can basically just leverage on these systems. You know how to take good pictures. You take the pictures, you don't have to start editing the pictures yourself. There are AIs that can do that for you, so that's how you can leverage codings and automation. And the final form of leverage would be collaboration, which is probably the most underrated. If I want to build a food processing company, I'd look for a food scientist, I'd look for a farmer, I'd look for a legal advisor, and yes, I can basically start a food processing company. I have marketing skills. I need to just pitch to the food scientist. I need to pitch to the lawyer, bring them together and tell them, hey guys, this is what I want to do. And I cannot afford to start a company. I can't afford to pay you guys off. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start the business. Everyone is going to take 20% of the business each. Once this becomes good, we're all good. And that way you have collaborated and eventually built a successful business. Don't be surprised. Jeff Bezos owns just 13% of Amazon. Yeah, you heard that right. The second largest company in the world. Come on now. And you have 0% of nothing. My friend, go and collaborate with your friend. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and watch out for my other videos. Yes, also turn on notifications to get my other videos. Thank you. Bye.